3 technologies that could make us immortal. First, we have gene editing. As of right now, most scientists believe that there are 7 genes that control aging. These are known as the hallmarks of aging, and this includes things like changes in the cell's energy, how it metabolizes nutrients, how it repairs itself, its sensitivity to stress, the buildup of harmful proteins and molecules, how well it can respond to different signals, and finally, how it replicates its DNA. Now, if we could target each of these individually with gene editing tools like CRISPR, then we would essentially be able to stop or even reverse the aging process. We already know that people who have mutations in some of these genes live much longer than others. For example, people with mutations in the genes mTOR and sirtuins tend to live longer, healthier lives. And researchers at the University of California recently discovered that by targeting the gene clusters involved in building they were able to increase their length and therefore extend the lifespan of cells grown in a lab by 38%. This means that with gene editing, we could turn on the genes that promote longevity and turn off the genes that cause us to age. But this isn't all that easy, because many of these genes have more than one function. For example, there is a gene called clotho, which has been shown to affect not just lifespan, but also metabolism, immunity, and inflammation. So if we edit this gene to promote longevity, then we might inadvertently cause problems with metabolism, immunity, and inflammation. Another problem is that although we have identified the genes that control aging, we don't yet fully understand how they work. So even if we could edit them, we wouldn't necessarily know what effect this would have. Finally, even if we could edit these genes without any unintended consequences, doing so would require invasive procedures like taking out someone's cells, editing them outside of the body, and then putting them back in. So for now, gene editing is still a bit of a way off. But what about nanobots? Nanobots are tiny robots that are typically only a few nanometers in size, which is about 1/1,000,000th of a meter. There are currently several different types of nanobots being developed for various purposes, such as targeted drug delivery and medical imaging. And many scientists believe that someday nanobots will be able to repair damaged cells and even fight diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. Nanobots could also be programmed to remove harmful molecules from the body or to boost the immune system, which could help us to stay healthy and fight off infections. In theory, nanobots could be designed to recognize and bind to specific molecules that are associated with aging, such as damaged proteins or dysfunctional mitochondria. They could then either remove these harmful molecules or deliver substances that could repair them. By targeting these molecules, nanobots could potentially slow down or even reverse the aging process. One of the main advantages of nanobots is that they could be customized to treat different conditions. For example, one type of nanobot could be designed to deliver drugs to specific tissues, while another could be designed to monitor the body for signs of disease. This modularity would make it possible to develop nanobots that target different aspects of aging. The other advantage is that nanobots are still a relatively new technology, meaning that they could be developed and improved over time. As we learn more about aging, we could develop new nanobots that target different molecules or pathways involved in the process. This would allow us to keep up with advances in our understanding of aging and develop new treatments that are more effective. However, there are still a number of challenges that need to be overcome before nanobots can be used to treat age-related conditions. One of the main challenges is that nanobots are still relatively large compared to the cells that they need to target. This makes it difficult for them to reach their targets without getting stuck in the body's natural barriers. Additionally, nanobots need to be able to power themselves for long periods of time, and they need to be able to communicate with each other and with the body's cells. Finally, nanobots need to be affordable and easy to manufacture. Otherwise, they won't be widely available. To address these challenges, scientists are working on new ways to miniaturize nanobots, improve their efficiency, and make them easier to produce. They are also exploring new ways to deliver nanobots to their targets and new ways to power them once they get there. If these challenges can be met, then nanobots could revolutionize the way we treat age-related conditions. But what about longevity startups? Well, a lot of these companies are trying to do something that sounds straight out of science fiction, actually reversing the aging process. One of the ways they're trying to do this is by developing new drugs that target the hallmarks of aging. For example, some drugs are being developed that could activate the gene sirtuins, which has been linked to longevity in various organisms from yeast to humans. Other drugs are being developed that could inhibit the activity of the enzyme mTOR, which regulates cellular growth and metabolism. By inhibiting mTOR, cells could enter a state of hibernation and dramatically slow down their metabolism, which has been shown to extend lifespan in animal studies. Some longevity startups are also developing drugs that could improve the function of mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell. Mitochondria are responsible for producing energy in the body, and dysfunction in these organelles has been linked to a variety of age-related diseases. By improving mitochondrial function, these drugs could potentially prevent or treat a range of age-related conditions. In addition to developing new drugs, longevity startups are also exploring other ways to intervene in the aging process. Some companies are developing devices that could monitor biomarkers of aging, such as levels of certain hormones or metabolites in the blood. By monitoring these biomarkers, individuals could be alerted to early signs of aging or disease and take steps to prevent or treat it. Other companies are developing dietary supplements that could support healthy aging. These supplements often contain a combination of vitamins, minerals, and other compounds that have been shown to promote longevity in animal studies. While there is still a lot of work to be done, these startups are making progress towards developing new interventions that could help people live longer, healthier lives. One of the most exciting developments in the field has been the emergence of new technologies that could potentially extend lifespan by years or even decades. For example, some startups are developing gene therapies that could target the genes involved in the aging process. Other companies are developing cellular therapies that could replace or repair damaged cells. And as we discussed earlier, some are developing nanobots that could monitor and repair damage at the molecular level. By harnessing these new technologies, longevity startups are pushing the boundaries of what is possible when it comes to healthy, long life. As you can see, there are many different approaches to defeating aging and extending human lifespan. From gene editing and nanobots to drugs and dietary supplements, there are a lot of promising developments on the horizon. It remains to be seen which of these approaches will prove to be the most effective. But one thing is certain, the quest for immortality is one that has captured the human imagination for centuries. And it's only through continued scientific exploration that we will be able to unlock the secrets of aging and extend the human lifespan. Now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on immortality? Do you think it's possible? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.